Do you think this offense can actually hit another gear? It's pretty good, averaging 30 points per game. What do you think?
It is, Grant, but I really do think there's another gear. And I have a few things that I can point to as to why. First of all, they had a game where Brock Purdy played arguably his worst football, didn't throw any touchdowns. They still put up 30. Next week, Brandon Ayuk's out. Okay, no problem. We're putting up 30. Then you add in the fact, you start diving into the numbers. Did you realize that the 49ers right now rank 20th in the league in touchdown percentage in the red zone? Their red zone offense has not even been that great, Grant. And they're still putting up 30 points. Third down, they rank 11th in the league. So, which is obviously, upper ish, but they're not in the top 10 on third downs. They're not even in the top 15 on touchdown percentage in the red zone. That was one thing that we all kind of liked about Brock Purdy is it felt like when they got in the red zone, they were cashing in a lot more than they did with Jimmy. Well, so far this year, that has not been the case, and they're still scoring 30 freaking points. It's like, as long as CMC's on the field and Brock Purdy's not turning the ball over, 30 is almost a lock. It's really what it comes down to. Now, if Brock Purdy balls out, they could go for 40. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, to me, I feel like this offense is as good as it has been. I'm not saying they can put up 70 or do something crazy like Miami. They don't have the speed that Miami does. But I
Also,
genuinely
Denver's
think
defense is terrible.
for sure. It's awful. But I could see where the 49ers could be scoring 40 every week. The last 3 weeks, they left points on the board. Like I said, the red zone percentage, touchdown percentage has not been great. This offense has not yet hit its stride, and that should be scary for the rest of the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was watching the Miami game this weekend, and I was thinking, why haven't the Niners done something like this? 30 points, everything, all 3 games, great. But the Niners have more talent on their offense than Miami, in my opinion. Tyreek's great. Waddle wasn't even playing, was he?
I think so. If he wasn't playing and they put up 70, then
let me see.
That's
Jalen Waddle stats. Did he play? I don't know. I didn't know. Hold on. Game log. Sorry. This is the best part of the show when I look stuff up on the internet. Nah, he didn't play at all. He was freaking inactive, and they put up 70.
He put up 70 without Waddle?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I didn't watch a lick of that game at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, why can't the Niners do that? Because it's not like McDaniel is that much better than Kyle. And to me, it's the quarterback. No disrespect to Brock, but we've seen him miss a grip of downfield throws this year where Tua generally doesn't, even though his arm isn't that strong.
So right now, Brock Purdy, 20 yards and beyond, is 3 of 9. He's 0 of 2 or 0 of, I think 0 of 3, 30 yards and beyond. So, but that just shows that the kid here. Let me ask you this, because I asked this to Ryan and we kind of disagreed on this, but the Dolphins doing what they're doing, doesn't it kind of give you hope that the 49ers could eventually be that with Brock Purdy?
Because that's what I'm saying. With Brock,
because Tua's size, he and Brock, I mean, Brock actually might be
very similar.
Very similar there. Arm strength is very similar. Tua's, I think, has gotten better over the last couple of years, but I think Brock's can too. Like, that actually does give me some thought and say, wow, Brock, if he starts hitting those deep throws, could eventually turn into a very similar player. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think Tua's a top 10 quarterback.
You're right.
But in this offense with those weapons, if Brock could start hitting deep balls like Tua, man, how do you stop him?
Right, because Tua doesn't have a strong arm. He's good on the deep balls because he has good timing and accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of floats them out there, gets them out on time and in the right spot. Like Brock, it's a little bit more of an adventure. He muscles up. He throws them low. Like Tua's are very high in the air, and they're like pillows falling down into the receivers. Brock's aren't like that. So if he can get Tua's deep ball and stay healthy, that's the thing with Tua too. Like, can either of those guys stay healthy through a whole season, or maybe not? Can they stay healthy? Can their coaches keep them healthy? Because I mean, as smart as they are, that seems to be the last thing on their to-do list.
Keeping quarterbacks healthy, yeah. No, that's a very good point. Miami has a ton of team speed, but overall, I look at Tua and say, Brock Purdy could be that. I think he could eventually get there with some of this as well, and lead a very efficient, high powered offense because of it.
One difference though between you mentioned it between the Dolphins and the Niners is the speed, man. Every
There's a
single
lot of
dude on
speed.
that offense
Yeah.
runs 4.3. It's crazy.
Mm.
You didn't watch the game much, but Mostert really, really ran well. But then the backup,
He's a 4-3-2
Devon
guy.
A-Chain,
4-3-2.
he's really good. He's
Yeah.
really. Would he go for 200 off the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
off the bench.
It's funny
dope.
because back in the day when you would play Madden, you never, if you were smart when you were building a Madden squad, it never came down to the overall rating. It was always just give me the fastest dudes on the field. Give me the guys that are 95 speed and plus. And I don't care if they're 70 overall. Like, I'm gonna win.
I'll work.
That's what feels like Miami's doing. They're like, I don't care if you're that talented. Or can you run 4.3? Okay, you've got a spot on this team. We'll figure it out. Okay.
Yeah. A-Chain's averaging 10.9 yards per attempt this year.
Dude. Unbelievable. I can't believe Waddle didn't play. I did not know that.
God. Dave Barkley, I'll buy you guys dinner. Deal. We're on the way. We're in the car. We will see you in 2 days. How long does it take? Rome Gut Level says weird that Kyle Lynch extension came out now. Why? It was interesting too. I feel like Kyle listens to the noise and he's aware of it and tries to address it without acting like he knows it. So me and my dad said like, yo, like, why would you do this after 3 games? That feels emotional. And Kyle was real quick to say like, well, this was actually done before week 1. We just didn't announce it. It's like, oh, okay. If you say so. So
Kyle definitely listens to the media, and here's how you know why. Remember when the Trey to the Titans thing was going on? You know, the praying hands or whatever. They're like, oh, he wants to go to the Titans. Kyle is the one that told Trey about that rumor. According to Trey, he's like, I didn't know anything about it. Kyle came and told me about it, and we had a good laugh. So that tells you that Kyle definitely pays attention to what's going on.
That's why we're such good friends. Rajbir Samra says, can Niners go undefeated? They could.
Can they? Sure.
They could.
But
if they beat Philly, I mean, they're going to be favored in every game this season except that one.
I don't want them to go undefeated, though. If you want the 49ers to win a Super Bowl, you don't want them to go undefeated. This would be awful. I'm so just saying, boring. Eventually, though, Grant, it would actually be a lot of fun because now all of a sudden you're chasing a record and you could talk about that. But
no, I don't
you're going to lose at some point. I would rather it just happen at some point in the regular season.
There's only so much praise I can give. Joseph Stockbridge says, trade for a West Coast DJ. The game Merc G Unit. How about what? Like, what are you, 2007 right now? How about trading Juwan and a third for a center that will limit the bad snaps to loud stadiums? That is one weird thing with Jake Brendel.
Yes. Weird. Two of them he's had. Yes.
I mean, with Alex Mack, he could blame it on the butt sweat. Brendel doesn't have butt sweat that he can blame it on.
Doesn't even
so
butt
what's
sweat.
The deal?
I don't know. He's just snapping it early. Towel
in Alex Mack's pants.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. I mean, really, if you think about it, the whole thing's kind of nasty. But he's snapping the ball very, very early on a couple of those plays. That's 100% on him. It's not on Purdy at all.